Okay, welcome everybody. This will be Uncle Mikey's first Pythagoras penny pinching poker video. And for starters, we'll play 5 or 6 tables of 1 cent, 2 cent. PLO. You'll see the 2 tables on the left hand side I've coloured blue to indicate that they are high-low games, not pot lemon Omaha. So you'll be looking for acey-deucey, suited aces, high rundowns that are double suited, and be looking to get 3/4 or 100% of the pot. There's this interesting hand down here, Queen Queen, Deuce 4. You'd see the flop for 4 cents, but you wouldn't want to go crazy unless you hit a queen. We've got a gut shot, but we're not going to make the nuts. Here we've got the nuts, and it's pretty clear to get some value from the 3 kings. This is playable down here in a high game. 9-handed, you know, so you want to take advantage of these weak players and get a bit of money in there. I folded the king Deuce 4 there to 4 cents. It's, you know, it's just a tight fold because I'm playing 6 tables, but let's see if we would have flopped anything. With the middle set here, 24, there's a big stack here. There's 2 big stacks in a small and big blind, so we're a bit worried about them. But we'll certainly bet at least 3/4 to full pot. And if this guy comes to the top, he's got 3 queens in general. And with this guy, we're happy to get it in and see if we're smothered or if we're just a small favourite. Kings and 5s, I'll defend for 2 cents. There's Jack 8-8 is a bunch of cheese. And I'm pretty sure he's got a 5 here, but we've got a reasonable low, so we'll pay him off. No, we just had a bit of low. 9, 9, 6, 7 works together okay. We love the flop, of course. We're happy to get it in. No big deal against 3 tens. 122. Yeah, we had to have called a gut shot, and we got to get good equity against the King Jack. Queen Jack's going to get us here, but Queen 9, yeah, that pretty much sucks. So called us with a nut flush draw and just got pretty busy lucky there. Suited ace is okay. Play very tight in these 9-handed games. And we're still waiting to join this 6-handed and this 9-handed up here. Lots of action on these 4 and 5-handed high-low games, as it tends to be. We'll play about 100 hands on each variant, and then we'll run some new software that I've got that'll pick up data on the amount of hands people play. I don't usually use a heads-up display, but I really like this one because it's just a few colours around the avatar there. It's called Javaro, and yeah, free, so it's not bad. Here we're favourite against the King 10, so just junk it in. King 10 of clubs is favourite against us, but that's very unlikely. This is total rubbish in high-low. One suit, can note 5-8 for a low. It's just rubbish. 7-7 King Jack is rubbish. Okay, so we've just been playing 1 cent, 2 cent this month, and so we're about to come into silver, which is pretty heavy going for PokerStars for 1 cent, 2 cent. You've got to play a lot of cards to get to silver on the penny games. Next month, I'm going to attempt to try to get to gold, playing 12 tables of penny stakes, just for interest, to see if I can. I've got a gut shot here with a 7, which is a bad call, but okay, we're priced in now with the not low, so let's hope we get lucky here. He only had the low, so no diamond, and we're good for 3/4. Yeah, to get to gold, I think I'd have to play 50,000 hands next month. Sorry, 150,000 hands next month. So 5,000 hands a day at 12 tables, so it's still a 12-hour shift. But I might calm down with the there's other ways to get a few points. I like to chase down these free bonuses that you get for hitting every hand on the card hunt, and I find that takes about 500 to 1,000 hands of 5 cent, 10 cent. Oh dear, gotta go for a low here. It sucks. Deuce is good. Oh, I made money. I think I did. $280 to $280. Got some banana flush here. Not worry about that one. Here's a good hand, even though there's one card that sucks. Against this clown, we're tempted to go harder, but that 9 really slows us down. Here we can pretty much get it in, and certainly now, because we've got the nut low deuce 3 with a pair of aces, and that 9 kicker actually makes our hand a little bit stronger. But of course, we'd much prefer an ace king deuce 3 hand, which is probably my favourite hand in Omaha high low, even though the ace deuce 3 is stronger. You find that quite often a pair of aces isn't enough against you unless you're up against another pair of aces. And if you're both with a bear ace, it's great to have that king kicker to take down 3/4 of the pot. Yeah, we picked up bottom 2 pair. We've had a raise from the big blind, so we don't really want to mess around too much with the bet and the call. Probably still good, but we're not favourite on the river. We don't get to see. We've got a nice little hand here, AC Deucey. We've got a 7 Jack. Tempting to fold here, but it's not bad. Give it a little tickle. Always fold 3 queens. And let's see, got the nice kicker. Suited. Okay, we played about 100 hands. So let's kick in the Javaro software, and I don't know what happens with the Whether it will show up on the recording software I've got, but yeah, I like it, and yeah, hope you can see it at home. Okay, might a bit too much with the 3 aces there, but it is a big trap for a lot of people. A lot of people will play this, but that 3 should be a 7 to get involved under the gun. We've got another min better over here. He's probably a goose. Kings are no good with a 4-6, in my opinion. Just no profit under the gun. Alright, I picked up 3 jacks. We're probably not the only person with a jack, but we've got a good kicker, so we're going to go ahead and bet a bit. See, we've got 100 hands with Kasparus. He sees 35% of the flops, which is about average, but he has no raises, so he's very passive sort of player. Okay, probably up against King Queen here. We'll have a look. We'll get away from it now. We've got a bunch of limpers, and an ace-3 works well if you've got the 5-6 with it. So let's go ahead and bump it up. 52. Well, good luck to you. We didn't hit a very good flop here. We got run around a chance, and that's about it. Who else we got? Lots of hands with Ty from Ukraine. 57 VPP. That's just crazy high. You're never going to win money doing that. Pre-flop raise is 4%, so that's only aces. Tempting to bluff that deuce, but someone's going to call with a pair of 10s or better. Okay, so it would be nice to get these other 2 tables going. We're first in line on both. So I'll play for another 14 minutes. This is a hand that I quite like. Ace-3-4. Suited. 10 kicker playable. Maybe bump it up there. We've hit a marginal flop there. We've got 2 pair, but it really can fall in a heap very easily. That's not a bad card, but we just want to get to a river. 27, yeah. We're deep stacked, so this is a tough decision here if he's got the ace-queen, or he's just pumping a low. Raise pre-flop. I really think I've got him here. Yeah, I do. Just trying to belt me out of the pot, which is the problem with being out of position, because a lot of times, even when you're not thinking, you just throw that away and you lose half the pot. Very marginal, but we got the button and a suited ace. 3 quarters with a king deuce 5, which is good. He was free rolling us on the flop, so he should have got it in there. This is okay. You can make some good hands with this, but you really want to see an ace flopping. Okay, I've got a pair and a second nut low draw, so we'll certainly be seeing another card. Here with top set, very wet board, which means there's a lot of possible draws that can come in, so you might as well bet pot. We're drawing possibly live here. Okay, I'll put flipping with that guy. We made the nut low, so we're happy to get it in. We got the nut low with a bit of a silly draw. So there we go. 4 aces just calls. What if I got a full house? Okay, so I'm not folding the turn, so get it in now. Oh, he's got 3-5. Wow, that's a load of cheese. Caught a raise with that. There's a goose. Give him a label. I like to do the silly ones in purple. This is not a bad hand, but the 6 really screws it up. I'd much rather play something a bit lower in position. Make it 5 cents, you know, just see if we can get the action check to me. Okay, so another 10 minutes to go. We've got stacked once, so we're gonna probably put in a slight defeat today, but never say defeat. We will turn it around, especially if I can get on this table with Kasparas and a Blau Golf to ding heads. Bit of a loose call in a small blind there, but yeah, it worked out well. We've got something we can continue with. Gut shot. No thanks. This is a pretty ordinary hand here. We'll just try to take it down here. Min raise. You bet half the pot. It's probably got a 6. Can beat a king, can't beat a 6. Can still beat a king, can't beat a 6. I think we're calling here. I don't see a reason I check the turn with a 6. He had a pair of jacks, that's a horrible call. Don't go crazy on the button with 6, 7, 3, 10. I'm not that impressed with it. Okay, so these games are pretty typical for 1 cent, 2 cent. A good player could make 20 to 50 big blinds per 100 hands. Probably the easiest games would be the full ring. And the reason I'm 3-betting my favourite hand here is because it's this dingbat from New Zealand. And the flop's good enough, so I'll just dump it in. Probably get stacked again. King's double suit, I'm happy with that. He's got 1 pair of 3s. Well, I'll get 3/4 of that, so he's an idiot. Got re-raised by a reasonable size stack with naked aces. If I pumped it in, it would go to 40 odd. I'll just disguise my hand there a bit and do about a flop. 36. I'd say he'd have an ace, king, queen. Ace has got to be good now, unless he bets, yeah. G call 55. Yeah, I'll let it go. 4 cents, no. 5, 9, king, queen is junk. Kings didn't get any better. He's going to lose. Ziada is really bad. He's improved a bit, but he was really bad when he started. Got 50 hands with him, which is not much. This guy's seeing 75% of the flops, which is no way to win. You could probably win on this table seeing 50% of the flops if you're a great player, but optimally you'd be want to see 30 to 40%, and a type player seeing 20 to 30% could also win quite comfortably, just on the big pots that people go crazy with, as you saw from this guy going all in with a bottom pair. Okay, we've got second nuts here. It's tempting to check raise because I showed no interest on a flop. someone with a weaker flush is more likely to bet, since I show no interest. I think we can try full pot. Might get a curious call with an 8-9. No, doesn't look like it. Queen deuce 5-5. Way to burn a hole in your wallet. What do we see about here? Stonewalling with the 5-6 of diamonds. For 1 cent, I'll see any straight flush chance because the players are so bad that 1 cent to win $2 to $4 is debatable, but it's worth it if you're good enough to get away from your crappy hands. A little bit too weak to see a raise out of position there. We've got here, a pair of kings with a 6 kicker. Don't like it. Yeah, we've got 3 wheel cards, so it's worth a cent. Here we've got position, so I see a hand that's not that good because the king and the 9 don't work together. Because you beat it with your own hand. We know he's raising with anything, so 4 cents, no worries. Okay, we've got the 3 9s, so we're only losing to 7-8. No one wants it, so we'll bet 3/4. We picked up a deuce 5, but we know there's probably an ace out there, so 1 pair and a deuce 5 is not really good enough to call with. There's a total jump at 2 cents on the button. Might be worth it. He's representing a 9-10. The deuce 5 is tempting here, but I don't want to get overcalled behind. This is playable. You can bring it in for 6 cents. Okay, so that brings us up to nice little 20-minute intro video. I don't really want to go much further with this hand. Queen 9 I'd continue, but not that hand there. 10 cents. I do have the best hand, but that's not a good turn card. The A6 is good enough. Okay, I will shut down the tables now and see if the video worked out. I think we might have made 50 cents for our 150 hands, but you never know. Always gets a bit frustrating when you use the auto leave table under the gun when you got 4-handed games versus 9-handed games, and the 9-handed games want to keep going for another 5 minutes. So we might as well see if we get a couple interesting pots. And I'll tell you guys about my background in poker. I started in the year 2000, so coming up to about 20 years now. I've had 16 winning years, although one of them was very lean, like under $10,000. I would say my biggest win in a calendar year would have been quite modest. Maybe my best year was I had 2 years that would have had about $50,000 profit. One year I was playing $1, $2 pot limit Omaha on full tilt when it first started in 2005, 2006, and the games were very soft. And then again about 4 or 5 years later, after Rakeback came in, and I got a bit perturbed by pot limit Omaha changing to 6 max. I started playing a lot of limit Omaha high-low just because I found it more calming, but the profits were a lot less. I tend to win just 4 or 5 big blinds per 100 hands on limit Omaha high-low, whereas in pot limit I tend to win at least 10 or 20 big blinds per 100 hands at the micro stakes anyway. But I had a really good year in tournaments in about 2010 or 11, playing about just 10 tournaments a day on full tilt just before Black Friday, playing buy-ins of $26 up to $75. And yeah, I just had some really consistent victories, and managed to pull in about 50 grand that year. Barely breaking even on cash games on full tilt. I just would play them to pass the time and wasn't really focused at all, just waiting for the next tourney. So you probably should stick to one or the other. My return on investment was about 80% on full tilt, and on PokerStars playing mainly $10 buy-ins, and my ROI is about 20%. So yeah, to win $50,000 I played a hell of a lot of tournaments on Stars and full tilt that year. And playing tournaments full time is not a bad way to live. Only problem is your lunch hour doesn't exist. You've got to get your lunch done in the 5-minute break. When you've been using those 5-minute breaks just for tea and coffee normally, so any meal that you put in the microwave has to be done in 3 minutes. Yeah, it's probably best to break it up into 2 shifts if you want to do tournaments for a living, but it's really hard to do. You're reliant so much on the luck factor of knocking out of tournaments at the same time, not having any small buy-in tournaments sort of hanging around when you've got large fields. Yeah, and certainly not registering for anything in the last 2 hours that isn't a field of 50 or less, or is a hyper turbo. Yeah, as you can see on those kings, I've got a bad flop there. So ace king 3-5 is a good Badoogie hand, but it's a terrible PLO hand. Let's see if we can get a big pot from Pythagoras here. We've got a rundown with 1 suit. We're going to go 3-bet, maybe 5-bet. Ziada is always good for a stack, but he has stacked me on probably 45% of the occasions. Now we can represent aces here, and against 2 opponents, that's not very smart, but we'll try it. And we're only going to get it. Yeah, he's probably got 3 queens, and that's the end of that. Oh, too good. Aces here. We'll try again, and since we just done the same thing, we'll go pot again, and we'll try to get the other again to play back at us. No, he folded, so that sucks. Well, at least people know we're not raising pot with just aces. Hopefully we'll confuse someone and get it done here. Okay. King 7 deuce. It's a great flop for kings, but not so flush for aces. Someone's got a set. They're going to call us. Someone's got 2 pair. They're going to call us. Against 3 players. It's not that smart. Looking for a dream ace on the turn. Now if Plough is calling, he's got 2 pair. Because I think he really thought about putting it all in there. What a dream card. Okay, how do we get a maximum here? We'll go pot again and get the 3 kings to pay us off. Gotta have 3 kings. Well, he's not thinking about calling with kings and 7s. He's got to have 3 kings. Guaranteed. Possibly 3 7s. Well, king 7 of spades. Alright, that's into that. So let's see if we made any profit. I think we made $1. Let's look at the session stats. As you can see, overall the stats are a bit painfully positive. $600 in 186,000 hands. That's just 0.3 of a cent per hand. That's a grind. Okay, so this session we played This session we played 42 minutes on 5 tables. We won $1.62, which is 50 big blinds, which is about double what I'd usually win. We dropped quite a lot of rake, 58 cents. And yeah, you can see I've been going quite well recently. A lot of green, not much red. Okay, thanks everyone. I'm Pythagoras Penny Pincher Poker, and I'll upload a limit Omaha video very shortly. Bye for now.